The SEMA Show in Las Vegas, Nevada features all things automotive, like the latest creation from Chip Foose, as well as the latest in drag racing news and some time-honored classics. IDR gets you up to speed next.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Inside Drag Racing, coming to you from the SEMA Show. And let's get things started with something that really rocked the entire show. Everybody knows Chip Foose, the famous car designer. Boy, what have you done now?
Well, Ted, we've got the Hemisphere here in the Mother's Jail Full Throttle booth, and this is a project that I started 16 years ago. I did the design work as a Chrysler-sponsored project at Art Center in 1990.
16 years.
16 years ago is when this was actually, my two-dimensional brainchild. And I actually built a little fifth-scale model, which was presented to Chrysler. And I can't say that I designed the Prowler, but I can say that it was the inspiration for the Prowler.
You know, it does look that way.
It was done as a coupe at Art Center, but also I did drawings of a Roadster.
Well, I was going to ask you what it's modeled after, but really, the Prowler's modeled after it.
Exactly.
Incredible. Of course, you had to put a Hemi in it.
Yes, I did. You know, you want that power to go behind it.
Well, and Chip Foose likes big, powerful engines.
Oh, yeah. It's nothing, there's nothing more fun than putting your foot in something and making things happen.
Okay, have you driven it on the street?
No, actually, I have not driven this one yet. This is going to be a vehicle that tours the country, and we're actually giving it up to show promoters, and not knowing who's going to have it. I didn't put any gears in the transmission of this one. It's going to go out, and it's just a promotional piece. Now, there is a black one over in the Mopar booth that we're unveiling at 4:30 today. That one's a runner.
Okay, thank you very much, Chip
Foose.
Gorgeous creation. Let's check in right now with Doc Rowley and see what he's found.
We talk about new products all the time. Bully Dog. Now, Bully Dog, you're always thinking about diesels and trucks and airflow, but this is not a diesel truck.
No.
What do you guys got going on?
This is not a diesel truck. You know, we've started our whole heritage on diesel, but we've taken our technology, since we're number one in diesel, we've taken our technology into the gas market. This here, as you can see, it's a turboed Mustang, but you cannot see the turbos.
Yeah, where are the turbos?
The turbos are actually underneath the car. The reason we've done that, there are several different reasons. One is because the turbos are more effective. Two, we can get a 2-hour install. You can install this in a morning, and it's more emissions friendly.
Okay, now let's just kind of quickly go through a little install. Going from here back to the turbos and everything. How tough is this install to do?
Oh, this install is so simple. All you do is you come up here. This is the stock intake on the Ford. You unhook here, and then you just start putting on our part. Put it on there, tighten the clamp, run the piece down, hook up to the turbos, cut the exhaust, bolt them on, clamp them on, you're done.
Okay, what about mapping? What about different things that I need to do, electronics and all that kind of stuff, gauging, all of that?
Now, the electronics is sweet on this thing. The electronics comes in a gauge tuner package. It's all one unit, one SKU. Your gauge is your tuner. You plug it into the OBD2, you hit download, give it at least 3 minutes. It'll download, bam, pop up to the gauge. You got all your parameters come up there, and it's adjustable on the fly.
I don't know if I can, Daryl, I don't know if I can wait 3 minutes or not.
Well, I know 3 minutes is a long time. You might take a sip of your Coke or something while you're waiting. No, it's awesome technology that we've put into this car, and we're very proud of it.
Let's talk a little bit about horsepower numbers and some gains. Got any information on that?
Right now on this car, we're only pulling 5 pounds of boost. It's quick spool time, variable vane turbos right now we have on there, and we're pulling 115 more horsepower to the rear wheels with only 5 pounds of boost. We haven't cranked it up to 8 pounds, but we will before we put the kit out in the market.
Well, the neat thing about it is you guys are in front of the curve. You're all about air. I mean, that's one thing Bully Dog's always been good about. And what's neat is you've taken that from that diesel and truck technology right here to the strip and to the street. Besides all that, and a great product, you've got an excellent platform here in this Mustang.
Oh, these new Mustangs are an incredible platform. You know, Ford's done a great job on this platform. And the thing about this is available to a lot more consumers because the price tag is right. And the price tag on this kit is going to be right too. So, you know, an average customer that is an enthusiast, he can go out there and buy. He don't have to be making 6 figures a year to buy this car. And this car is sweet on the track. I'm sure you guys know. And all we need to do is add another 100 to 150, 200 horsepower, streetable horsepower. Guys, you can go out and you can throttle these $1 million cars. This thing is awesome.
And the neat thing about this is with the ease of installation and all that performance gain right there, you can say that you did it. Take it out on the street. You don't have to be an all-time drag racer, but hey, down the line, that's going to spill over to that quarter-mile speeds.
Inside Drag Racing is brought to you by Summit Racing Equipment, the world speed shop. By ARP, the world leader in racing fastener technology. By Duplicolor, the leader in automotive paints, primers, and coatings. Yes, you can with Duplicolor. And by the Masters Auto Expo, July 6th and 7th, Radford, Virginia.
Back at the SEMA show here on Inside Drag Racing, continuing to find new products for you out there that you might be interested in. I ran into the neatest thing you've ever seen in your life. This is called the Voltmaster, and it's by the people from Auto Physics. And Jeff, step in here just a minute. What exactly does this product do?
Hi Ted, we make voltage converters, and what the Voltmaster does primarily is it'll make a constant 16 volt output from any 12 volt battery.
So take an ordinary 12 volt battery, I can step it up to 16 real easy. Why do I want to do that?
Well, that's why we have our little display here, Ted, is to answer that exactly that question. What we have here is a standard stock type ignition running on a 12 volt battery with the variable RPMs. As the RPMs go up, you can hear it miss, commonly known as a high-end misfire.
Yeah, no kidding. It missed right out there, up around 7,000 or so.
Right, you're getting at the end of the strip or the end of the straightaway and you get a miss. That's exactly what's going on here. Now, with flipping the switch this way, just running the 12 volt wire through the Voltmaster and to the coil.
Wow, look at that. We're up over 10,000 RPMs. You still got a good strong spark coming out of the coil. Well, if you've been having a little bit of mist down there at the quarter mile, now you know exactly why. Looks like a very simple cure to me.
It's time now for the Race Report, an update on championship sportsman racing action from across the nation, and brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts, home of the professional parts people. This race report comes to you for the 27th Annual Summit Racing Equipment NHRA Southern Nationals. In stock eliminator, in the far lane, Mike Iaconio up against Peter Biondo. Iaconio has 2 national event wins. Biondo has 28. Off the line, they were just about dead even reaction time. The dial for Iaconio, 11 seconds even. He goes 11:05 to take the win. His margin of victory, 7 feet. Temperatures were perfect, 84 degrees, a little bit warm. Let's move now to Super Street. In the far lane, Lamar Stevenson III up against Don Strickland. Stevenson a 1090 dial, as is Strickland. Off the line, it's all Strickland with an 0-1-0 reaction time. But at the top end, Lamar Stevenson picks up his second national event victory, his first coming back in 1998 at this track. And Super Gas. Off the line, a red light start there. That is William Crenshaw. Dan Fletcher will take the win here. This will be Fletcher's 46th national event win, his first in Super Gas. He goes 13:21 to capture the win. In Super Cup, Edmund Richardson Jr. in the far lane. Near lane, Mike Fuqua. Fuqua has 2 NHRA national event wins. Edmund has 40 of them. Both with an 890 index. An 026 lead for Richardson in the far lane. He'll take the win, an 891. And he just continues to add to his overall victories of NHRA national event wins. In competition eliminator, in the far lane, Glenn Treadwell up against Steve Ambrose. Treadwell has the better reaction time by a scant 043. Treadwell will take the win. He wins by 10 feet. This is his 8th win, an 8-10 to take the victory. Next up from the Summit Racing Equipment Nationals in Commerce, Georgia, this is Frank Manzo, the Lucas Oil Monte Carlo up against Mark White in the Penn Asphalt Firebird. Manzo has made up the difference after the starting line advantage for Manzo, a 5:57.262. That is the 12th time Manzo has won this event. No other driver has captured more victories at this event. Top alcohol dragster in the far lane, Spencer Massey up against Dan Mercier. Massey 0-4 in final rounds this year. Mercier takes the right lane. And Spencer Massey will take the win at 5:62.249 miles per hour. Now let's check it with Big Daddy Don Garlitz.
Why not start with a brand new fastener rather than plating an old one? You're getting a much higher quality product. And here's Tim to tell us all about it, how long they've been in business, and how many fasteners did you say you had?
Well, we've been in business for 35 years. And we have close to 35,000 fasteners that we carry.
35,000 different fasteners.
Correct, yes.
That's just about cover everybody.
Well, you got to have quite a big inventory to cover this market, so we make sure that we have a diversity and make sure we have quite a bit of product to get out there to the people.
Tell me the different grades that you offer of the different material.
Well, our steel bolts are grade 5, grade 8. We do carry L9, and we do have a stainless steel that's a grade 2.
And I saw some really beautiful heads on some bolts. What is that all about?
Well, what we do is we are exclusively licensed by GM, Ford, and Chrysler to do a stamped emblem of the bow tie, the Ford oval, and the Chrysler Mopars insignias. And what you see in our kits here is that we offer complete engine sets, individual applications, and we can give you that nice detailed statement with that bow tie look to it, or that Ford oval or that Chrysler Mopar.
There you got it. Don't plate an old fastener. It just isn't worth it. Go to Gardner Westcott. They got it brand new.
Back on Inside Drag Racing, I stopped by to visit with the people from Howard's Cam. And Steve, what do you got new for us?
Well, it's our new connecting rod. It's a small block Chevrolet 6-inch forged powder metal racing rod. And we're real proud of it. We feel it's the first advancement in racing connecting rods that come around in a long time.
Why is powdered metal so great?
Well, powder metal, we had 4 goals in mind when we decided to make a connecting rod. It had to be stronger, it had to be lighter, it had to be American made, and it had to be less expensive than billet sets that are now currently out. And we achieved all those goals. All of our connecting rods at Howard's are 100% American made. The weight of the rod, we were able to get it down to 500 grams, so we're real happy with that.
How does the powdered metal work? How do you put it on?
First, we use a finite element analysis to design the rods and use a super strong blend of steel powder superior to 4340 material. When forged under high pressure, it makes a dense forging with no stringers or inclusions and a superfine grain structure that the 4340 forged and billet rods don't have. Yet it's still ductable or malleable. In destruction tests, dyno and the real world of racing, these rods rival billets rods. We also use fracture cap technology, which makes the bore perfectly round and helps with cap stability and high horsepower applications.
Well, high horsepower, how much horsepower?
Well, with a standard ARP 2000 cap screw, it'll handle 600 or 650 horsepower. If you elect to go with the optional H11 or tool steel cap screw, we can boost that to 800 horsepower. But we can give any customer that would be interested the complete scoop with this free little brochure, and all they have to do is just contact us here at Howard's, and we'll make sure that they get the information.
All right, there you have it. Boy, the latest in technology, huh? Who would have ever thought about powder coating these things?
The NHRA Sportsman Spotlight with Bob Fry, featuring a closer look at NHRA sportsman drag racers and their racing activities at different drag strips across the nation. Brought to you by Duplicolor, the leader in automotive paints, primers, and coatings.
For the diehard sportsman fan, when you come to a race, whether it's an NHRA national event or Lucas Oil divisional race, there's no more enjoyable class to watch than Competition Eliminator. And over the last couple of years, this gentleman has provided us with some of the more memorable moments out there. Bob Book, you got a magnificent race car right here. Been in the 630s with this car. Tell us about it, Bob.
Well, it's a 2002 Pro Star car built by Kurt Fleischman in New Jersey. We had it updated last year, 2006. We do our own motors. We've been building the car off and on. We don't race as much as we'd like to, but we go out to about 5 or 6 races a year. It's basically a sales tool for my business, which is I sell carburetors to professional sportsman class racers. It's just always been a dream of ours to be able to race a car like this. We love Pro Stock, but don't have the money. And basically this is a Pro Stock drivetrain in a dragster. So it's in a form that we can afford to race. And like I said, it's a good sales tool for us. It's something we have a lot of fun racing, and hopefully people occasionally enjoy watching it.
Well, it really is a great operation. It's a marvelous race car. And believe it or not, Bob actually asked me one time, he said, hey, if you ever want to take a spin in this car, have at it. Oh, I don't think so.
The ARP Quarter-Mile Quiz with Butch McCall offers you a chance to win a Quarter-Mile Quiz sweatshirt while testing your knowledge of drag racing. Brought to you by ARP, the world leader in racing fastener technology.
Quarter-Mile Quiz.
Well, in this week's ARP Quarter-Mile Quiz, I've got a question to me that was sent in by Mark Valerio from Youngstown, Ohio. And his question is, years ago he saw that the funny cars would do their burnout, then come back and do a chirp or a dry hop. He wants to know why they stopped doing that. Well, this man right behind me is a gentleman that I remember doing the dry hops, and then I remember seeing him stop. So let's just ask him about it. Welcome back to the ARP Quarter-Mile Quiz. With me is the king of speed, Mr. Kenny Bernstein. Good to see you, buddy.
Good to be back. Thank you.
Okay, this week's Quarter-Mile Quiz question was from Mark Valerio. He said that you guys used to do your burnout and then do a dry hop or a chirp. Why did you stop?
Well, we stopped because we didn't want to hurt the clutch anymore, heat it up and abuse it. Actually, Dale Armstrong came up with it. He got to noticing the more we did that dry hop, the less the performance of the car had. The clutch became so aggressive we smoked the tires all the time. So he says, cut that out and let's see if it works, and that started the whole thing.
Well, a lot of people followed suit, I know, because I think you guys were one of the first to stop.
Well, with Dale Armstrong, he was the first in a lot of things, believe me, but it was great in those days. Glad to be back now, though, with this ERG car. Believe me, monster. We're glad to be here.
Okay, Mark, and talk about performance. This guy sure knows a lot about it.
When you come to the Las Vegas Convention Center in SEMA, there's always big announcements, and in the world of drag racing, another big announcement is going to top a number of different front pages. The DHRA, the Diesel Hot Rod Association, with a big announcement here. David Dunbar, you guys have really, in the past couple of years, the DHRA has been on the scene, have been starting to make headlines, and you guys are doing it again. What's new for next year?
We're moving to the West. We are going to create a new Western Series next year. We're going to launch it with our Las Vegas Nationals, May 5th and 6th, 2007.
Now, when you say the Las Vegas Nationals, that's going to be where?
At the Strip, Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
That'll be interesting. Let's talk some about the classes that'll be running at the Las Vegas Nationals.
We're going to have our bracket class out there, which will be open to most of our daily drivers. We're going to also run our quick diesel class, and we'll have our Pro Street category. We'll also feature sled pulling.
Sled pulling, that's one of the things that folks on the Outdoor Channel have seen. Let's talk specifically about drag racing, and leaps and bounds have been made in the diesel performance area, and it naturally pulls right over into the drag strip. Let's talk specifically about some of those pro classes.
Well, Pro Street's a 1050 class. These guys are these are all daily driver qualified trucks, meaning that they are street legal. They can drive on the street. It's a great class, good competition.
You say it's a 10.5 class, so these guys definitely can kind of kick things up a little bit, can't they?
They can, and one of the things we're doing for them this year is we're going to allow them to open qualify. They'll be able to run as fast as they want to in qualifying. We'll ladder them based on that qualifying, and then we'll run a quick 4 following that, so these guys will be able to turn them up and let them go.
You've got a diesel truck and you're itching to go drag racing. Stay tuned at the end of the program. We'll give you contact information for DHRA, and make plans to come see them in Vegas in May.
The Performance Tip. Professional tips on the latest performance technology available with NHRA Pro Stock champion Greg Anderson. Items featured on the Performance Tip are available from Summit Racing Equipment, the world speed shop.
Folks, for today's Summit Racing Equipment Performance Tip, we're going to talk a little bit about dry sump oiling systems, in particular Moroso. You guys all know these guys, product line of over 3,000 parts. So something new to their line this year, dry sumps for Super Comp Advanced ET classes. Rick, tell me about this dry sump system.
Oh, here we got a Super Comp dragster, which we all know is a very popular form of race car, and they're getting faster and faster, and there's a lot of advanced ET classes where they're going real fast, and they need a better oiling system than the typical wet sump system. And we've been selling the G-Rotor pumps and for quite a few years. We came out, this is a new part number that has the pump moved in and closer to the block and up a little bit for more clearance in the dragster chassis. We also have a new dry sump tank that has state-of-the-art internal baffling in it, and it's also clockable. The top clocks on the bottom of the tank so that you can just to help the ease of installation in anybody's particular application. And of course we have all the different product to go with it to help complete the installation. We have our manifold, that different part numbers for different size dry sump pumps. We have our vacuum pump and the oil pans. This particular oil pan is a brand new part number that has just been shallowed, I guess I can say, for NHRA's new rule for putting diapers on all the Super Comp and Super gas cars out there.
That's the guys at Moroso, always looking for a better product. For more information on all their great products, we'll display the Moroso website at the end of this show, or you can go to your Summit Racing catalog.
Guys in their shops working on cars, working on engines, working on nitrous, working on superchargers, working on everything. Power building videos. Aaron Johnson, great concept. Tell me a little bit about what we're looking at.
Well, what's happened is I've been building race engines and performance engines since the 70s. And I get a lot of people coming into the shop going, hey, how do I learn about this stuff? And the books out there, they really just don't give the detail. You just can't learn this stuff from a book. So I said, you know, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start filming this stuff in great detail that the average guy can go, you know, I'd like to put a supercharger on my car, but I really don't know what I need to do. Well, let's get into the detail that the average guy can understand in layman's terms. So I've put all these together. I have 16 different titles, everything from superchargers to building engines to nitrous to carburetors. And in basic terms, so they can understand how to apply this to their car, both the street and at the track, and get some use out of it so they can get out there and have some fun.
Our drag racing fans and drag racers that NMSC8, M, and RA, those guys are always looking for that little advantage, that little edge. Let's say I'm an expert and know-it-all and everything else. I can probably get a little refresher course in my mind and pick up maybe a couple of ideas by watching the power building videos.
Absolutely. Nobody knows everything, not even I, not even the best of the best. I get a lot of compliments all the time. Guys, in fact, one here at the show said, you know, I've been racing cars for 35 years. I watched your video on carburetors. I learned a few little tips that I may have known before, but I'd forgotten about, and thank you very much for that.
Sounds like a great product. It is a great product, and we'll look for those things on the future as well. Again, you drag racing fans out there, it's the winter months coming up, conventions, while the aftermarket's finding out all the new trick stuff. Aaron and the gang can get you up to date on building more horsepower for next racing season. Stay tuned. At the end of the program, we'll give you complete contact information for power building videos.
Inside Drag Racing is brought to you by Summit Racing Equipment, the World Speed Shop. By Moroso, race-proven Moroso. And by United Specialties, home of the Trendsetter. Check out these websites for the latest information on the products and services you've seen in this edition of Inside Drag Racing. IDR is a production of Masters Entertainment in association with the Outdoor Channel.